Hey everybody, Tom here, and today I want to teach you how to set up a game of Unmatched. Now, I have the base game of Unmatched, and I also have Robin Hood and Bigfoot, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to be playing, or setting up, whatever, from the base game, just to make it a little more friendly in that way. And in this game, on Twitter, it was voted that I would be playing Alice and Medusa. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, if you noticed on the title card of this video, it says that this is storage and setup. And if you know anything about the insert here, you might be a little confused why I'm saying and doing that. So let's go ahead and take off the lid, and then we'll have a little chat. Okay, so here we have a rule book, and I feel like this rule book is pretty darn good. Till now, I haven't really thought of any main big questions. This game is really pretty straightforward and really simple, and so I think this rule book was fine. We also have here a double-sided battlefield, so we have two different maps. And so on one side we have a map here. I don't know if this is a map from one of the legends or something, but we have land and we have a boat over here. So that's one option to play with, and then the other one looks like this. Now, since I'm playing Alice and Medusa, this map reminded me of both of those characters, and probably on purpose, I would guess. Let's think. So in this game, there's Medusa, King Arthur, Alice, and Sinbad. So I guess that, I don't know, maybe this is very Sinbadian, and who knows? You guys probably know more than I do. There are these names down here, and I just don't know. But anyway, this side definitely reminded me of both Alice and Medusa, and so we're going to be playing on this side of the map. Now, looking at the box here, I just want to point out how super awesome this insert is. Super custom, why did I say that? I don't know, but it's a custom insert, comes with the game, beautiful. I do have two problems with it though, as awesome as it is. Number one, I store my games vertically. And when you store this game vertically, things are prone to fall out of their compartments. These cards, you know, they're skinny enough that they just kind of slip down and they get a little bit messy. And some of these chips sometimes fall in, especially there's dials under here. Those will kind of fall out of place and push the cards. So it's just not really friendly to store vertically, is one problem. And the second problem is with the upcoming expansion, or this expansion, plus all the upcoming expansions, you just can't fit anything other than this stuff in the base box. It's not friendly to add more stuff in. And if I'm going to take this to go play, I want to have all of the characters in one box. So I've devised a do-it-yourself solution. You can find all of the information you need on my website at tomteachesgames.com. But before I teach you how to set up the game, you can fast forward if you want, but I am going to talk you through what I've made for you to see. So the first thing that I've made is just to solve the problem of the verticalness. So if you struggle, if you keep your games vertical and you want help with that, what I've done is I have created boxes that will store everything except for the miniatures. So here I have the Alice box. You can kind of take a look here. All right, this is what the back of the cards look like. I just picked the artwork that looked coolest from one of the cards. And you can go ahead and open this, and if you wanted to, you could use this box while you play. You could set your draw pile in here and your discard pile. Super optional, obviously. But essentially the idea is that you can take the decks of cards, you could take any extra tokens, you could take the dials. Let's see if I can do this correctly. And also, these little tokens here are sidekicks, and they all fit into this box. And this box fits into the insert. And so now, if you have these pieces in here and you tip the box to store it vertically, stuff will not fall out. So there's the Alice box, and here are all of the other boxes in place. And so you can see that, in theory, I mean, I think it looks super cool still, but it's holding all of the pieces in here. You could even keep the sidekicks in here still if you wanted to. Totally up to you. So if you only own the base game, but store vertically, or maybe you just like the look of this for travel, hey, there's an option for you. And again, all of the information that you need to download and how to make these boxes, it's at my website at tomteachesgames.com. And in case you're curious, yes, I do have the Robin Hood and Bigfoot boxes as well. And now to address the other issue that is hopefully going to come up for people, because what a fun game and so many fun expansions planned, is that if you wanted to put these all in one box, maybe you want to protect your miniatures a little bit. So the idea being that you could remove this main insert, but to get rid of the main insert, you're going to want to protect the miniatures. So I have also created little mini box holders, and these will hold either your main figure, will definitely hold your main figure, and or it will hold the little sidekick tokens. If you wanted to put them in here, you could, or if you want to keep them in there, you can. I know this looks a little bit oversized. It is oversized, I can admit that. But the reason why it's that size is the biggest miniature currently available was Bigfoot, and Bigfoot will fit in his box as well. And so I just made these matching mini box holders so that if you wanted to, you could just store everything in this box. I think I had it calculated like this. So we could, especially as more expansions come out, we could just have all of the deck boxes here, and the miniatures, oh, we'll go that way. The mini boxes will fit this way, like that. Okay, so that's the general idea and why we have storage. So depending on the size of other stuff coming out, I think you could fit at least 4 more characters in here, maybe 5 or 6. It kind of will depend. And everything still fits really nicely here on top. So you can see the map would just fit perfectly right there. And everything will travel and store awesomely. So my current plan, because there's only 2 boxes, which is, more than one, but there's so much space here, I wouldn't want things to get too jostled around. So the current plan for me is to keep stuff like this until the next 1 or 2 expansions come out. I don't mind 2 boxes so much, but once we get into 3 and 4 territory, and I think like Bruce Lee is, I think, a single character expansion, I'm not going to want to have 1 box for them. So for now, I'm keeping these in 2 separate boxes until we get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, as I mentioned before, we're going to be playing Alice, so we'll go ahead and take out that deck of cards, and we're going to be playing Medusa. So I'm going to need the Alice figure and the Medusa figure, and everything else I can kind of move aside. Okay, so now we're going to set up the play area, and first thing I want to point out is it might look like I just am super oily with my fingers or something. No, this is not dirty. This is actually a wash on these miniatures just to give some good detail to how fun they are. All right, so there's Alice. And if you're new to my channel, it's really important to me to make sure that you, the viewer, can distinguish what's going on as the camera will be moving around a lot. And so I know that it's going to be mostly obvious for most people, but I also do like to put a colored paper underneath the play area, just so that as the camera's bouncing around, it is painfully obvious who we're looking at. So we're going to put the mini on the board in just a minute, but let's set up some other stuff here. So as I pointed out, we have a few things in this box. You'll always have at least 1 dial for your main character. This is their health dial. And some characters will have a second, maybe a third for the future. I have no idea, but yep, so we're going to have another dial for this one. This is going to be the Jabberwock sidekick character. So all of the characters also have a sidekick, and some of them have health, and some of them have very little health. So we have our Jabberwock character token here. And Alice actually is the only one with this extra piece for right now. But this is going to track Alice's size as either big or small. And so we need to decide before the game begins which side to put this on. I believe my plan is to start her off small, so I'm just going to take that out for now. And then each player is going to have a player aid. And it's going to look like this. It will show the basic actions that this is the same on everybody's card. And then it'll have, the things that make Alice unique right there. And as I mentioned before, you definitely don't have to, but I think I'm going to because I made it this way. I'm going to leave this deck box out like this. We will have a draw pile and a discard pile. So I always shuffle my cards before putting the game away, so don't stress that this isn't too shuffled, but just to reassure you, there's that. So I'm going to make this my draw pile, but also each character or each player is going to start off with 5 cards in their hand. I'm going to go ahead and put the draw pile right there, and as we discard, we will discard over there. Okay, so I've got my starting hand. I'm not sure where to put this. I guess we'll put it here. Something like that. And what we need to do is we need to get Alice and the Jabberwock onto the board here in just a second, but I also want to get their health before I go. So I'm going to take a look here. Alice's starting health is 13, and the Jabberwock's starting health is 8. And so we're just going to set the dials. I think that all of the characters will just have, like, that'll be the maximum number. So you can just go ahead and find their maximum number and set it. And I think I'm going to use this card in this way. And we'll do 8 right there for the Jabberwock and put them down here by their information. And then let's go ahead and take these two and put them on the board. And essentially what you do, the rulebook says the youngest player will be the first player. And in this 2-player game, this game is mostly a 2-player game. It's like 2 or 4 players. Or if you're doing 3 players, 1 person plays 2 characters kind of a thing. But essentially the youngest player will put their character on the space that has a little 1. And then their sidekick needs to go on a space with a matching color. That's going to be a zone. We'll talk more about that later. But essentially, since there's this tan color here, I could put the Jabberwock either here, 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 or here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put the Jabberwock here. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so here we've got Medusa. I'm feeling a little apprehensive because I almost always have a blue player and a red player. And here we've got blue and green. I kind of wanted to play King Arthur just because of that, but the people have spoken, and Medusa was a clear winner. So anyway, we got the Medusa figure, and she's going to be a little bit unique. All of these characters are unique. Let's see, her dial is going to be set to 16. She actually has 3 sidekicks. These are the Harpies, and none of them have a dial because they all have a health of 1. So she has more sidekicks, but only a health of 1. And let's see, we'll go ahead and put this right here. We've got, like I said, her starting health, and they just have 1 each, but we've got the 3 Harpies. Go like that. And we'll just give this a beautiful little shuffle here and deal 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And this goes here like that. And we've got our starting hand there. Let's go ahead and get these all on the board. And the number 2 is right here. And so I can put these Harpies in the brown or purple spaces, any space with a brown or purple. And my best understanding is that I don't have to put them all in brown. I have brown and purple spaces available to me. I could put them anywhere I want. If I wanted to be really aggressive, I could put one over here. I think I'm a little nervous. The Jabberwock is kind of strong. So we're going to go here, here. And let's go here. Okay, so we're going to kind of surround Medusa, and that's how Medusa is going to start. Now, just 2 more quick things is I always do a practice round before I start recording to make sure that my brain can handle what's about to happen. And there were 2 things I was noticing about myself. I was making some very common mistakes. Is in this game, there's fighting. Obviously, that's kind of the whole point of this game. And I was often getting which player was my attacker and which player was my defender mixed up, just because I was playing by myself and all of that stuff. And so what I did is I created this card that I'm going to introduce to not only help myself, but hopefully to help you guys as the viewer. And it's a defender and attacker card that we will flip depending on who's attacking and who's defending. And so I'll actually play the cards down right here, and that will help me do a better job tracking where I am in the round and who's attacking, who's defending, stuff like that. And so I'm probably just going to put this down here at the bottom. And yeah, so anyway, I made this. I haven't published this as of the recording of this video. I don't know if I should. I feel like most people will think this is the stupidest thing in the world. But if you want this took me 2 seconds to make on Microsoft Word. I'm more than happy to upload this to Board Game Geek as well. If that's something that interests you, just let me know in the comments, I guess. But yeah, that was one thing I noticed as I did my practice round, not being able to track this. The other thing that I was noticing is because turns, as I'm controlling the camera and 2 characters, the turns can feel, you don't always know what you've done so far, for example. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 2 foam chips that I use in my math classes, and because each player gets 2 actions, essentially what I'll do is I'll flip over when I've done 1 action, flip over when I've done the 2nd action, and then I'll know to go to the next player. So I'm just going to keep these nearby. And also, because this token is mostly about attacking and defending, let's put this over by the attack and defender thing. I'll just put this over on Alice's side. And let's go ahead and give Medusa her 2 action chips. And again, that's mostly for me, but we can pretend it's a little bit for you too, so we can track where we are. And there you have it. For a game that's so quick and easy to set up, like you really could have this thing set up in like 2 minutes. I realize that this video is a lot longer than maybe you'd expect, but hopefully for good and positive reasons. Yeah, so anyway, that is my storage solution ideas and some ideas on how to set up this game. If you're interested in seeing Alice face off against Medusa, go ahead and click on the link in the description of this video. Love to see you there. And hopefully this ends up being a super fun video to make. I'm a little nervous. It's very different than usual videos that I've made on this channel, but should be fun. All right, thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.